Natasha, and I'm gonna teach you. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna teach you, but I'm gonna showcase a few tools that might help you on your healing journey, and become more aware of yourself and the people around you. Um, Maybe implement other very unconventional tools that might help you cope in the meantime until you're ready to progress and take action in a positive way. So this is going to be my perspective on tarot and tarot card readings, because I have observed and researched on my own with my own life experiences for the probably since 2018, and this is around 2018, and this is currently 2023, so 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, good God. Approximately like 5 years. Time goes by so fast. It's scary. If you're really, really young, you don't quite know that quite yet. But the older you get, time seems to go by faster. So with tarot card readings, they have become more and more popular on YouTube, at least from what I have seen in my perspective. Maybe it's because I search for it, so I see it more and more. And these people are really talented at what they do. I have to take a very practical approach to these things, but I'm very interested in it because I just seem to be interested in things that I can't really solve or prove with facts. There's all this kind of blurry, kind of, I'm not sure, it depends kind of attitude things. That's pretty much all of my interests. So with tarot card readings, a lot of them tend to be about relationships. They can be about career and just other general things about yourself too. But whenever I've kind of noticed certain things with relationships, or if I am kind of encountering someone that I am potentially being in a relationship with, or in the relationship with, there have been many tarot card readers that they just point out things that you just can't ignore. Like, it's not just a redundant rubber stamp type of energy. It's just like, what? Like, no way, like that is exactly what the situation is, or what I am intuitively feeling. So if you ever read the 5 love languages, it's almost like words of affirmation for your intuition. If you're ever skeptical about your own intuition and believing it, and many times I have doubted my intuition. There have been many times where, like, my intuition and initial gut instinct have been spot on to the point where it's kind of scary, and I want to reject it. I don't want to believe it. It's denial. It's like a coping mechanism of like, I don't want this to be true. I don't want this gut instinct of reality to be real, because it's not what I want. But it unfortunately is, in at least my situations. I can't say about everyone. But it's almost like words of affirmation for your intuitive gut instinct. And it's for a mature audience. It's not for like everyone. Really comprehend and utilize tarot readings, at least the generalized tarot card readings that are out there on YouTube for like your sun sign or your moon sign or your rising sign or Venus sign. You really have to be able to decipher and separate your actual emotions and your thoughts and interpret these readings in a very mature manner, for it to kind of be of any use for you, because sometimes it can actually hold you back. You can become more obsessed with it. You can put your life on hold and wait and wait and wait and wait for some kind of outcome that you intuitively believe is going. You are intuitively believing that these things are going to happen, but you can't control free will. These tarot card readers cannot control people's free will. They're just reading the energy of a zodiac sign, and then you have to understand that people are composed of multiple zodiac energies, some more than others. Like I personally have a lot of Capricorn and Aries energy. I used to just follow Capricorn tarot card readings, and I have slowly found that I resonate even more with Aries tarot card readings. It's my moon side and my north node. Sometimes you have to pay attention to your north node quite a lot. Since I have all of these split cardinal energies going everywhere, it's kind of like all of them make sense in their own weird way, and it's sometimes really annoying that it's almost like I always have this kind of weird miss, because things are happening for my Capricorn friends, and then things are happening for my Aries friends or my Scorpio colleagues, or my Libra rising friends or whatever. And it's like whenever something finally positive happens to a certain zodiac sign, it's like I seem to miss the boat, or like my luck does not float in that direction, and then it just jumps to a different sign. Really think about the whole aspect of the chart, and it is kind of entertaining, and sometimes you need to hear these things just to cope in the dead silence or when things are not going your way. Because that part is not fun. And then, or sometimes we get confused. There's one point with one of my exes that I started watching tarot card readings because I just want some kind of action to take place. Like I want to do something about it, and sometimes I can't force anyone or tell anyone to do or whatever, be something that they don't want to be on their own. And it's almost like a placeholder for you to just sit there and process. So there are benefits to it, but then there are negatives to where you might not want to proceed and progress in your own life, because you want to hold on to something. If you have a lot of Scorpio or fixed energy, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio in your chart, you might feel really stubborn and fixated on some particular outcome. And you have to remember that you cannot control other people's choices or willpower, especially in relationships or when you have to deal with other people in general, even in the workplace. Tarot card readings, like, you have to really use this word that's been floating around quite a lot, is discernment. Use your own best judgment for your own circumstances. Know your own values. What are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to forgive and work on How many times have you been kind of going over and over and over some kind of issue with someone? Look at yourself as well. If maybe you're the one who is the problem, or being too stubborn or fixated or not being open minded, you have to look at yourself too. It takes two people or multiple to create a successful relationship, business partnership, or whatever group, a social group or whatever, if you're trying to progress some kind of thing. So, do your research, try and pick and choose. What are you always listening to? Some tarot card readings are very optimistic and lighthearted, and they tell you all the sweet nothings and great stuff about a situation and give you so much hope and optimism, which sometimes is great. It's fun to hear what you want to hear, because you don't want to hear all the crud and crap that could potentially be the truth as well. And then you have other tarot card readers who do a lot of live readings, and like they can come up with all kinds of weird stuff that I always find is like, what? Like I listen to these things consistently, uh, over the course of maybe 4 or 5 years, since like 2018, 2019, and this is 2023. And they can come up with specific energies that's like that are different from the previous week before or whatever. It's like they don't just redundantly come up with the same storyline all the time. Perhaps like the storylines are pretty repetitive, otherwise you wouldn't be seeking out these type of things to cope with whatever crap that you're going through. But it's kind of really weird. That's what makes it really fascinating for me as a Scorpio chart ruler, at Scorpio being at 28 degrees as my chart ruler for myself. And it puts more emphasis on this relationship kind of area for my life. I have found that it's just really, really weird, and it just affirms my intuitive feelings that, this other person that I'm dealing with is feeling this way, and I tried my best and did what I think I was supposed to do, or at least speak up in a productive and efficient, effective, empathetic manner, not yelling and screaming or whatever. And, it's like, I tried. And there's only so many times that you can try before you start. So you're just, depending on your age and what you've been through, you're going to have your own personal threshold of what your boundaries are. And that takes time, and it also takes time to realize what you want and what you do not want, what you value and what you do not value. And if someone is of some kind of attraction level, stature, whatever, like career influence, or what do they bring to the table, or what kind of lessons and different perspectives and approaches do they bring to the table for you to kind of become a better version of yourself. That is one of the lessons I have to say as a Libra South node and a Libra rising, is that realizing that other people in general, or people who you consider your intimate partners, they're not only there for like physical attraction or financial stability or Someone seems to be like they're a good parent, like seems to be. Um, they have to be like a best friend. You have to be able to have the same values, kind of almost at the same time, because you're going to fluctuate in that progress over time. It's not going to be the same. And what are you both like? What are you both willing to tolerate? Are you willing to kind of hold back or catch up when someone or your partner is kind of like progressing in one area or more than you are? Are they going to hold space for you to catch up? And then sometimes you are going to progress faster in some area while they're like, oh my god, I feel insecure. I used to be always the one to progress and lead, or be the leader and resolve issues, and now you've kind of rose up to the top. Like, is that person going to have a big ego now? Like, haha, I finally surpassed you and I'm the shit, or are they going to leave space and let you catch up to them? That is how you both kind of help each other with good intentions, but by being honest and communicate effectively, so you both can progress in your own weaknesses, your Chiron, your Saturn, life transits that are happening, whatever, because you have your personal lives that are happening, and then you have the whole world that is also putting everyone on a big ship that they all have to ride. And if the ship sinks, like COVID, for instance, everyone's on the same freaking boat and they're all freaking out at the same time, but in a different way. So tarot card readings are great. They're very fun. I like to experiment with them all the time. Be used for positive motivation, influence from like a divine source, energy. It's like, oh, okay, I'm on the right path. I was questioning it, but source seems to be giving me signs and synchronicities that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I was questioning it, but it seems to be that I'm doing the right thing and I'm living my life's purpose, or my intuition about a certain person or group of people or my coworkers or my family members is kind of like making me question. And then this kind of reading just like embodies the exact aura of what you're experiencing, and not all of them will align. Sometimes people need time to cope, or they need an affirmation that their instincts and intuitions are not a bunch of BS. They're actually valid. And it's like counseling. You want to feel heard. So it's almost like a divine outside mystical source of feeling heard, that you're not a crazy person. Like these energies or whatever, you are feeling them, and whatever you're feeling or sensing are actually true, but you can't control what the outcome is going to be, because everyone has free will. What else was I going to go with this? Yes, use your best judgment. Don't put your life on hold. Be honest, speak up when you're dealing with someone else and you question that person or a group of people on something honestly, in a calm, rational voice, and they either just don't answer you, they just kind of get quiet, or they try and go around your question to avoid, dodge, distract, change the subject. It might be a sign that they're trying to hide something from you. And deep down, maybe you know this, but you have to be a little bit more assertive. Really question it. Because sometimes people just want to get away with what they can get away with, and they're going to try and bamboozle you because they don't want to feel hurt. They don't want to feel shame and guilt. They don't want to feel like a loser or lose what a good thing is, and they know that they did some dumb shit. They don't want to admit it, and it's hard, for that person. And then it is hard for yourself if you actually tried to do everything the right way. We're loyal, we're honest, you had good intentions, and sometimes shit's not fair. And you have to use your best judgment. Sometimes when you're dealing with these zodiac readings, maybe they're dealing with other people who are the same zodiac as you. So I encountered this, with one person, and I was a Capricorn sun, and I limited myself to a lot of Capricorn readings, and everything seemed to align and seemed to be going great, and things were progressing. But then my intuitive instinct, I was in denial. I did not want it to be true, and for a long time, it seemed to align. But another person was also a Capricorn, and so things got really blurry. So you cannot just assume that these tarot card readings, if they resonate with you, is only applying to you. Always love yourself first, because you have control of yourself. You know your own life. You know if your intentions were good and you did a good thing or a bad thing. You know yourself. If you were doing someone dirty, don't lie. Just be honest. Honesty, I have found, is always the best policy. It is not always the easy way, but you will be able to recover relationships better and faster. And if you don't, then maybe those people are not at the same maturity level as you, or they're not someone that you want to keep around in the long term, not the long time. So yeah, that is my little analysis and discovery of tarot card readings. They're really amazing. It's really fascinating to be able to read actual energies for like certain zodiac signs, but don't forget, you are a mixture of many zodiac signs, especially if you have groupings in certain zodiacs. It's not just your sun sign. And whoever you're dealing with, sometimes they have like 3, 4, 5 planets in a house that is not their zodiac sign at all, and it will come out in a reading as if they are that house placement, whatever that house is representing, instead of the actual sign that they are. I've noticed this. It's very fascinating. So use your brain, use your discernment, use your best judgment. Don't put your life on hold that long. Try and progress yourself. Try and look at your own behaviors. What are you doing? What are you ignoring? You can't always point the finger at someone else. You have to look at yourself too, because there's a reason why you're attracting a certain type of person or a certain type of behavior, because you are allowing something to happen over and over again. And sometimes, you're a good person. You had good intentions. It's not your fault, but you have to learn, you have to figure out what the lesson is for you. And sometimes tarot, I've learned a lot from these tarot card readings. They're like counselors in a weird way. But this is my little review of tarot and tarot card readings. Very fascinating. I personally love it, but don't be a dumbass, okay? Use your brain, focus on yourself at the end of the day, because you are the only one that you have control over of your life. If you are not a healed person, you are probably one of those people who comment, he is a bitch ass hoe, or he was a liar or whatever, and like write out your whole story for the entire world to see. That is a sign that you are not quite healed and you still have work to do on yourself, which is fine. Everyone comes through these points in time, but there's a maturity level to